Stop with the games, all right? I'm done with the games. Shut the You know what you want to do, so do it. You're not gonna die. And guess what? You're gonna die. So shut up. I made it crystal clear. Dive in the water.
Because I got some risks to take. Living out things that I wish no cake. This ain't a dream, it's a glimpse of fate. Breath on my body, my friends are behind me. Decided by God, feeling rich today. Throw me a curve, I got hits to make.
What's good? I am fascinated by people not taking action. That cusp when they know what they want to do, but they still are paralyzed by fear. So I hope with today's video, today's topic, you can do that for yourself and understand how your subconscious fears the unknown so clearly that you can take that step with confidence into that field of possibilities and unlock the magic in your life. What's up, guys? Steven Selly here, energy coach. Here on this channel, we are energy freaks, which means we put our energy first. We see the universe as a reflection of our energy within, thus giving us all the power within us to say, I have the answers, and anything I want to change in my reality, I can do by changing within. Today, we're focused on two of the most resistant-filled topics in the energy exchanges of our life, which is money and relationships. Let's just dive right in. We all feel fear when we're growing because it's the unknown. If we can recognize that it's a fear and we can recognize that we're stepping into our truth, all we have to do is step into truth. So why don't we do it? So often with relationships, we fear losing that person. We may fear hurting that person. We may fear that we'll never find somebody like that. Yet we have this desire for more. We have this desire to show up more authentically. And we have this knowing that there's something better for us. When it comes to money, it's very similar. We have this fear that we're going to miss out on an opportunity. We have this fear that we're not going to have enough. We have this fear that how can I make money doing what I love? Yet in the current position we're at, we say to ourselves, I know there's more. I wish I can work on my passion. I know I can be lit up, and we have this knowing. So the first step is trying to get better at feeling the fear. Where do you feel it in your body? Does your chest get tight? Does your throat close up? Do you feel like your gut? Do you feel limited? Do you feel your posture shrinking? Or do you have thoughts? Those thoughts I just mentioned. Do you have thoughts that this is limiting myself? Do you have negative thoughts? And fear is different for everybody, but there's a common sense of feeling afraid if this bad thing happens. So once we get clear on our own fears, we can strengthen our connection to our truth. And these are situations that light us up. And this may come with a new definition of a reality. We have a way that served us up till now, but it's not serving us anymore. So we have to shatter where we are and say, this is how I'm going to be in my new reality. And that's up to you to define. How do we want to define ourselves? How do we want to show up in the world? I want to be more authentic. I want to express myself freely. I want to trust in myself. I want to live with more passion, more purpose. I want to feel alive. And then there's a level 2 to all of this. The subconscious mind is afraid of the unknown. If you know this, you can recognize when you're about to act in fear. The subconscious mind sees an unknown. For example, when you're following your passion, you're making a change in your relationship, in your business, you don't know what's next. You just know that this is not healthy for you. The subconscious mind freaks out saying, what are we going to do? How is this going to work? But that's not up for you to decide. Your mission right now is to decide, this is where I want to go, because you will figure it out. You always have figured it out, and you will be supported, especially when you're acting in truth. That is a key, because when you're not acting in fear and you're acting in truth and you can get over that fear of the unknown, now you stepped into a space where you trusted yourself, and that's all you can align with. Going back to us being energy freaks, we are aligning with a vibration. We're changing our state within, and we don't always feel it because it's scary. But if we can get so clear on that's our truth, we will feel courageous because we took a step to go towards that vibration. And I promise you, the second you take that step, you will feel more aligned with your true self. Now, the subconscious mind also can be rewired and programmed over time. So when you take this step, it gets easier. Hence why I'm doing what I love now, because I've done it over and over again. In my life, when I started dunking, it was out of pure joy. I got to see how that expanded my whole self-discovery journey. And I have all this experience as an entrepreneur and all these different things where I kept taking these steps into courage. And now it's been repeating that new pattern that I wanted for myself. So I'm able to show up more authentically without having to think as much. And just like any habit, at the very beginning, it's like a seed, a small flower that's easily picked. But if you can care for it and maintain that, it'll grow into an oak tree that has strong roots. One shift that I really love is fear-based thinking to possibility thinking. For example, what if this bad thing happens? That's not good. But what if this amazing thing happens? Whenever you're going into the unknown, you can see that this is possible. And that is understanding your subconscious, because your default may have been the fear-based. What if this goes wrong? What if this happens? I find it so empowering to understand how the subconscious works, because once you understand you're afraid of the unknown, and it's most likely the default, because that's how we are as humans, to look at the negatives, that you're saying, okay, I'm not going to look at the negatives, I'm going to look at the amazing things, and just by stepping towards that, I'm rewiring and stepping into that energy now. Okay, now let's move on to level 2 of fear and truth. Buckle up. Fear, there's more underneath it. When you go to leave that person, if you say, I'm afraid of losing this person, I'm afraid I'll never find somebody, what is deeper underneath that? A lot of times it's, my true self is not even good enough to find anybody, or I don't even believe anybody will ever like me for my true self. Those are very deep, but they're underneath that. And if you're willing to just see those fears, they lose their power. If you're willing to express them in your little journal, or with me, you're gonna cut them in half as well. And you could ask yourself, where did this fear come from? Maybe you had a childhood experience. Maybe it's just a story you created. The point is, go underneath the fear. Get to the root, leading into your own limiting beliefs. What do you believe about your ultimate version of yourself? I want to be successful. I want to be wealthy. I want to be healthy. I want to do these things with my body, my business, my partner, my relationships, my family, my art, whatever it is. Do you believe you can get there? And then you may notice the limiting beliefs. I don't know if I can get there. I don't know how to get there. And that's underneath you actually defining who you want to be. So often we just block ourselves from our natural gifts. We say we want to live our purpose, but we don't actually believe we deserve to live them out. In my own experience, I had these natural gifts of expressing my voice and working with people, and I didn't value them. So in my entrepreneurial experience, one, I devalued them from a monetary standpoint, but also I didn't even tell people I liked to do it. I didn't even mention that it's part of what I do as my business. And that was because they came so easily to me that my low self-esteem in my past devalued those qualities I give. But your natural gifts or your uniqueness, that's going to be your best way to serve everyone and the world, let alone you're going to be so lit up. And as energy freaks, our highest vibration of that joy, excitement, and passion is the greatest gift we can give to ourselves and the world. And we can see how this easily correlates to money. If we're saying the same thing about our skills, what we bring to a business, I don't believe my skills are worthy, I don't think I'm good enough, I don't know if I can handle this job, we're going to choose an opportunity out of that lack, out of that unworthiness. What's the worst case? What if I lose all my money and I go homeless? The funny thing is, you're not even afraid of being homeless. It's actually usually the judgment. I'm homeless, what is my parents gonna think? What are my friends gonna think? I failed. So it's the fear of failure, and what does that feel like? Embarrassed, distrusted myself, how could this happen? All these feelings. Because homeless, you'll be fine. You're gonna eat, you're gonna find a way to do it, you're gonna figure it out. You have way more support than you're giving credit, and it's not the actual fear, it's the feeling that you're gonna get from that. So going to the root of that fear, we can see how that's in our subconscious. It's going to make us choose things out of fear. And it's actually limiting us so much because we're choosing an opportunity that drains us when we know we could be up here. And if we're vibrating at our highest, we're going to be making the most income, making the most impact, and aligning with the most amazing opportunities possible. And that comes down to what you believe. If you believe that living your dharma in your highest state of joy and impact is going to bring you the greatest opportunities and experiences, then that's your belief. But you may not believe that yet, but what is your definition of reality? You get to choose how you define reality. If you're thinking that my highest state of joy, that frequency is going to bring me and align me with the best experiences and the most income and the most potent network, then you're going to see that. But you may have trouble believing that now, but that's where your work comes in. Can you believe that? You may have a knowing, and the true knowing is acting on that. Life is a game. Let's have some fun. If you want to express it to me in the comments, your wildest, biggest dreams or your darkest, deepest fears, I'm here for it. And the second you say, you know what, I'm just going to get it out, you're going to move the energy. You're going to shift the energy. Then you're going to be able to have a new definition of reality. And it's about taking aligned actions every single day. And that's all you have to do. So I hope this gave you clarity on fears, truth. You can only be courageous if you have fear. If there was no fear, you wouldn't need to be courageous. Find your inner freak and act on it. I just want to see your gifts. I want to see you shine. I want to see what you create when you're having fun. Take the step. This life ain't for everyone. Some people just want to have more fun than others. Some people just want to speak their truth. Some people just want to show up authentically without having to think. Stop thinking so much. All right? What are you doing? You know what you want to do, so do it. Stop with the games, all right? I'm done with the games. Shut the You're not gonna die. And guess what? You're gonna die. So shut up. I made it crystal clear. Dive in the water. Bonus. Vulnerability is the strongest act of inner confidence. Why? Because think of it as showing your belly. You're saying, you know what? I don't care what happens. I'm willing to show you my belly because if I do, I know whatever happens, I can handle it. I don't need anything else outside of me to handle it. In the past, you may have had armor. I can get through this with all this armor, but it's not the inner confidence. And when you build inner confidence, you have peace. You have a foundation. You're building stability within, which is the ultimate foundation for you to express your most authentic self. In other videos, I'll talk about attachment, but you're releasing that attachment for things to go a certain way because you're saying whichever way they go, I can handle it. In my energy coaching practice, it is a space for you to show up in all your glory, your fears, your doubts, your biggest dreams, here for you to share everything with me, and I'm here to hold you at that level. I only want to work with people that are inspired. I help you tap into your own inspiration, but people that want to live their life to the fullest, that feel authentic, they want to share their gifts, and they know there's more. And you're willing to show up and take those steps, because I promise you, we will find those steps. We will get clear on your fear, we'll get clear on your truth, and now it's up to you to be like, hey, yo, this is what you said you want to do. Why aren't you doing it? And it's my passion, it's my purpose, and it lights me up every single conversation. And I feel you, I know where you're at, I understand that it's hard and it's scary and it feels like you're stuck and you don't know what step to take, but it will come clear when you commit to saying, I'm putting my energy first.
Decision, I let it go. This the life that chose me. This ain't no low key. Wake up on the high side. Greatest day of all time. This the life that chose me. This ain't no low key. Wake up on the high side. Greatest day of all time. Maybe I'm dreaming too big. Maybe the hand I was dealt. What if I never take